shame gets stored, especially for women, around the hips. Now, there is no direct scientific research correlation, but I've studied a lot of like Eastern physiology and Western psychology. In fact, there's actually an amazing book called Eastern Body, Western Mind, which basically combines how the psychology of the mind influences the body. And the psychologist who wrote the book traveled to India and lived there for many years and studied the chakra system. Now, the second chakra, for those of you who are familiar with chakras or not familiar with chakras, the second chakra is around your waist, so just below your navel. And what it corresponds to is a pleasure center, the pleasure centers of the body. So the second chakra is basically, like I said, just below the navel. So it corresponds to most of our sexual organs that are down there, our reproductive organs. And what it's also closely related to, whether you study metaphysics, you study like the body, your understanding of like yourself and the parts of your body and your energy, it closely relates to the pleasure centers. The second chakra also relates to being very feminine. So the first chakra is the base one, which is masculine, which is about the support and the stability. The second one is about fluidity, creativity, and flow. So it's extremely feminine. It's what's responsible, they say in like Eastern principles, it's what's responsible for you being creative, for you being really expressive, for you being able to like to connect with nature a lot, for you to be able to like verbally express, also like physically express, artistically express, etc. And so especially like when you take the concept of masculinity and femininity, and I'm going to connect this to shame because it's going to be really important for you guys. When you take the concepts of masculinity and femininity, femininity is all about creativity. It's all about expression. It's all about playfulness. It's all about being flowy. So one of the best and my favorite examples of masculinity and femininity is take a flag, right? So the Mexico flag, the Mexican flag is like so beautiful and amazing, which in the central part of, in central Mexico, what am I saying central Mexico? In Mexico City, they have in the downtown area, there, so I'm just moving my camera because it's being a pain in my ass. Okay, got it. It's a massive flag, one of the biggest flags in the world, and it's waving so beautifully. The colors are amazing. And yet when you think of a flag, and when you've seen an American flag, Canadian flag, like wherever you're from flag, what is a flag without the pole or whatever it's holding on to? It's nothing. And so the flag just like waves in the wind. It'll probably fall and get dirty and torn. What is a pole without the flag? It's boring. It's just like an ugly pole that's just hanging there and provides like no real beauty aesthetic. So a flag and the symbolism of a flag and freedom, wherever else, is only valid when it has the pole and the flag. The pole represents the masculine and the flag represents the feminine. The pole represents the structure, the stability, the support in that moment. The feminine is represented by the flag, the beautiful colors that are waving, which is what everybody's like looking at, loving, and enjoying. So when it comes down to femininity in itself, femininity is a playful, it is a colorful, it is an expressive expression. Both men and women can have femininity, by the way, just letting you know. So it's not only women who have femininity, we have them in different levels. But when it comes to shame, what does shame do when you think about it? Think about where you've been shamed the most in your life, or where you've experienced shame in relationships or wherever. You will find out that you've most likely expressed or felt shame around some sort of like sexual experience. You felt shame around your body type or your like bodily expression, your sexual expression. Those are the biggest areas that you feel shame. Now, where do those deposit? Remember, as I just said, it's around the chakra, which is around sexual expression, creativity, and flow. And so your body tends to store onto those emotions, especially shame, in your hips. So for a lot of people who are, especially, when you think about women, because women are more shamed around their sexuality than men, and this has statistically been proven through time, when women absorb that level of shame around their sexuality, around their expression, they're sitting on so much of like deposits that sit around their waist. Now, you want to know the actual science behind how those deposits sit there through shame? Listen to this. This is neuroscience and neurochemistry, which basically is about the chemicals and the hormones running through your brain and body. When someone goes through a stressful state, when they're triggered, when you go through a stressful state, your body shoots through two chemicals through your body: adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline is the one that's the upper, so it gets you to really like excited, gets you to run away from a certain type of prey. And then the second one is cortisol, which is the downer. It's meant to calm you down, but not just calm down. It takes you into like a hibernation mode. The reason these two existed scientifically is because when it came from like prehistoric man or woman, when they were running away from prey or a tiger or a bad thing, They'd run away, which is adrenaline, so it moves it into an aggressive state, and then they'd hide in a cave. And when they hide in a cave, they're meant to just like hibernate and wait for the prey to leave. Now, you don't know how long it's going to take. It may take hours, it may take days. So it shuts off your digestive system, it shuts off all of those things. And what it does is it actually deposits fat layers in your body because it's keeping you there and you're not sure how long you're going to be in there. So it needs to make sure that your body has enough fuel, it can stay warm, it can do all of that. And that's how stress makes us deposit like fat layers in our body. In fact, cortisol, which is the second stress hormone, right? I said there's adrenaline, the upper, cortisol, the downer. Cortisol is secreted and gets attached to fat cells. So fucking crazy. So you can have, if you need more cortisol, you need to be able to start producing more fat and synthesize more fat in your body. And conjunctively, if you have more cortisol running through your body will produce more fat. So in moments when you've been exposed to shame, when people are shaming you around your body, what do you feel? Do you feel good and expansive? No, you feel fucking constricted and shut down. And so when you're feeling that level of being constricted and shut down, you have a lot of cortisol that runs through your body. When you feel shame, I read this research article yesterday, it's amazing, which actually did studies on the body to see which parts of the body are activated when you feel shame or guilt or whatever else. I think I talked about this at the start. But when you feel shame, your body shuts down. It doesn't want you to move. It doesn't want you to do anything. You feel a complete lack of motivation. You feel a complete lack of self-worth and self-value, love, all of that stuff. So cortisol is living in your system, depositing fat cells hugely around your waist because that's how it can get you to feel like, oh, I'm going to get hibernated. Now, this is how you can read books like The Body Keeps the Score, Heal Your Body Through Your Mind. Like there's so much of that stuff. I teach psychosomatics, which is the principle of the mind-body connection. And in that, the largest principle is that anything you go through emotionally is stored in your body. Even the good stuff, which is why when you feel really happy and like awake or playing with a puppy or a baby or feel energized at life, just study your body language. Your shoulders will pull back, your chest will go up, your chin will go up because you're expansive and open for the world. On the contrary, when your body is experiencing a very shut down emotion, your shoulders will pull down, everything will go down, and we'll get into more of a victimized stance because your body is afraid. It's it's constricted, it's not expansive. When you go through shame a lot, shame lives in that state like this perpetually. So it's continuously building trauma and being stored in and around your hips. So yesterday when I was taking my gauntlet students through the powerful process of releasing shame, what we did was a lot of physical movements to open up your hips. Through yoga, if you've done yoga or any other movements, the hip openers are really good to allow more of that shame to release through your body. So there's we did the frog pose and different ones. There's some for the first chakra, some for the second. Hey, and welcome to the Inner Yats YouTube page. If you like our content, make sure you click the like and the subscribe button so that you get more of these amazing videos that keep coming your way.